Okay, hi. I'm Glen Wallace, and I play Malachy Fisher in Channel 4's Hollyoaks.
Well, thanks for being here, doing this with us.
all.
So, your character, Malachy in Hollyoaks, has HIV. So what did you think when the scriptwriters first told you that he was going to have HIV?
Malachy gets back into the village and he gets HIV. How do you feel about that? It's one of those sort of scenarios where, selfishly as an actor, you think fantastic, because it's one of those stories that's going to challenge you. It means that I can get involved in something. I can do my research, and rather than just coming back into the village and sort of faffing around, I've got something meaty to get my teeth into.
And what did you know about HIV before you were given the storyline about it?
I think pretty much the same as sort of any average Joe. It's been knocking about in the media now for what, as far as I am concerned, since Mark Fowler was diagnosed in EastEnders, which is what, 1988, so you're talking 20 years ago. And it's one of the conversations that we had, the producers and myself, when we were talking about coming back into the show, that whilst it was front page in the news and the headlines were there, that it's sort of pretty much been pushed back, you know, into the background, and it's not as a sort of focus point as it used to be. You know, with 20 years you're talking, that's sort of 2 generations of children now that have grown up and aren't maybe fully aware of the full implications of HIV and sexually transmitted infections and that sort of thing. So I think the type of show that we are, and understanding the demographic that we have, I think it's quite important that we do put focus back onto something such as HIV. As each day goes on, we learn something new. Things like the pep drugs, for example. It wasn't actually my character that used the pep drugs. It was Chris, who's played by Jared McCarthy. His character, because of the love triangle that happened between myself, Mercedes, and Chris, he was aware then, because he had a scare about a year ago, I think, HIV scare. He was aware of these things called, you know, the pep drugs, where if he was up to 72 hours exposed to HIV, he knew that he could take this course of tablets. Unfortunately for me, I didn't have that time, and neither for Mercedes. But so we explored then the situation of PEP through Chris's story.
And then what's going to be your character's role now? How's he going to live with HIV in the soap? Is that going to come up a lot?
Yeah, it's a bit strange, and I dare I say that sort of it's art mirroring life in a way, because we've had the big expose, Malachy's HIV positive, Mercedes may have got it, it may have been passed on to Chris. And then we're just sort of getting on with normal life. Very conscious that I don't want to play, you know, sort of 12 months or however long it is of I've got HIV, woe is me, because I sort of, there is a, dare I say it, there is a normal life. I mean, that HIV is treated like a serious illness as opposed to the death sentence that it was, say, 20 years ago. But I also think that that's part of the problem, because I think if we take that stigma away from what it is, if we lessen it and dilute the sort of the potential hazard of it, I think that's probably why we've got this blasé attitude with today's youth. Well, if I'm not going to die from it, I don't need to worry about it, and that's very wrong.
Have you come across any stigma out there since you've started talking to people about HIV? What has people's reactions been to you?
Everybody so far has been really positive, bar one guy who stood in the street, pointed his finger at me and shouted HIV boy. But no, I think everybody that we've talked to, the interviews that we've done, the press that we've been involved in, I think everybody is quite positive in the fact that once again it is being brought to the forefront, and obviously we have, you know, World AIDS Day coming up on the 1st of December, so yeah, I think it's all very positive. Respect and protect. What does it mean? Through the storyline, what I think I have gathered from this is that it's about respecting yourself, actually, which sounds a bit sort of obvious, about personal responsibility, because at the end of the day, you're the only one who's in control of your life, and to respect yourself for that, but also the person that you're with. One of the nurses that I talked to in Belfast was saying that the sex that you have with that person is not just with that person, it's with all the people that person has slept with and all the people that you have slept with, and that's how it's getting passed on. And if you can take sole responsibility for yourself, then we can make a difference and we can make a change. So I think respect is about self-respect and protecting those people that you're with.